Hello and good day for the last time from Cambodia. Good day. How do we get to Vietnam and what does Vietnam look like after so much time since we've last been there? And for Ginny, it will be good day. Yes, Vietnam is a communist country and I'm very curious to see how we will perceive it.
Non-governmental organization.
How?
Local non-governmental organization.
I found Chinese Coca-Cola.
Hello.
But does it say Coca-Cola on the can or does it say
Make the world better. Non-governmental organization locat.
non-governmental organization local?
You know the pronunciation better.
But is it Coca-Cola or is it not Coca-Cola?
It doesn't say, Marcel, just local non-governmental organization and make the world better. Look, local non-governmental organization. Let's see. Well, of course you have to drink it because, well,
To drink it.
for the message.
China, we passed the checkpoints. We found cola, ONG, long cola. We found Chinese cola. We were curious if it's Coca-Cola or not.
But, yes.
Very interesting that the Chinese haven't developed here yet. A bigger airport, the airport in Sihanoukville, is a very small one. I think only small planes can land there. We came with an ATR, we're leaving with an ATR, we'll see if there are any other planes, although I haven't seen anything but these small ones. We're going to fly with the Cambodian airline. It's a 1-hour flight, very, very close. I don't want Ho Chi Minh.
I don't want samurai.
I want Chinese Coca-Cola. You know that feeling when you get something, you taste it and hope it's what you have in mind, but it's not, it's terrible? Please, Gibby.
How unkind.
It's very bad.
It's like a crushed tea.
Tea.
Yeah, a tea. Let me taste it again.
You can drink it all?
It tastes like mint pear.
Maybe a chai that's very, very weird tasting. It's bad, it's not good at all. Again, the ATR from Air Cambodia. These people have new planes. It's a good flight with them. All right, we've landed in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, the former Saigon, because that's what this city used to be called. Welcome to Vietnam. Let's see how we get through the controls, how we get the visa. Actually, for Romanians, you don't need a visa if you stay less than 45 days. That's not what it says.
Yes, yes.
Let's see how we get to the accommodation. Let's see what Vietnam looks like after 7-8 years. Something like this. I think it's this way. We got through control very quickly, just stamped. We have the embedded SIM from Airalo. It's already working very well ever since we got off the plane. We recommend Airalo SIMs to you as well. They're cheap, useful, easy to use. You just download an app. And when you get off the plane, you already have internet. You can also find a discount code in the description of every vlog. Let's see where we pick up our luggage from because I had to check in my bag. I came with a small plane and my luggage was too heavy, so we have to wait for it and see where it comes out. All right, we're in a hurry. There's a lot of traffic. Even though the distance between the airport and the accommodation isn't big, I think it'll take us more than an hour. Heavy traffic here. That's just how it is, nothing we can do. In a way, it's normal for it to be this crowded. Vietnam is one of the most populated countries in the world, and Saigon is one of the most crowded cities in the world. We spent an hour and a half in traffic, an hour and a half for 9 kilometers. That's Vietnam heavy traffic. The Grab dropped us off here, and we still have about 50-60 meters to walk. Let's see what the accommodation looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Done, we're checked in. Once again, a million codes. We had a pretty hard time with both the Grab driver and the host because no one speaks a word of English. Let us show you what it looks like. We didn't know why he was there.
I took my microphone out of my bag.
You weren't talking because you didn't have your microphone? I understand. This is the apartment, a small apartment in a new building, but everything is very, very well organized with everything we need. Big bed. I think we also have a view from here from I don't know which floor.
Third floor.
Third floor, we have balconies, we have a washing machine, and very, very, very importantly, we have a kitchen. We have a kitchen to cook something.
And the bathroom is very nice, clean.
Yes, it's good. It's very, very good. It cost 100 and a bit lei. I knew it was cheap in Vietnam, cheap and nice. So we are very, very satisfied. Pretty tired because it's night, okay?
But the air conditioning isn't on because I expected it to be cold.
God help us, and no lizards.
No lizards, that's most important.
Yeah, I think we're going to do some shopping and cook something, something light for the evening.
And the washing machine?
Yeah, we have one on the balcony. Great, let's go see what we can find. We're not going to do much, but I want us to cook something tonight, and for sure we'll cook something tomorrow too. Because I at least really, really crave our flavors. What did you find? A screed board.
Do you know how to play?
Like this? I know, but I haven't worked in 40 years. It's not good. I've arrived. Welcome to Saigon. Welcome to Vietnam. The next days will be spent exploring the city and seeing what has changed in Vietnam in recent years. Because I haven't been back in 7 to 8 years, something like that. No, that's about it for tonight. I quickly made some chicken with crumb. Ginny is making a cabbage salad, and that's about it for tonight. We'll see tomorrow what's next. For now, I'm really hungry, really craving. That's pretty much the evening activity. Chào buổi sáng and good morning from Vietnam.
Good morning.
We're starting our first day in Vietnam. Here we're extremely lucky because this pool is just ours. This morning people haven't woken up yet, and since it's a building with only 16 floors, it's not as crowded as it was over there in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah. Well, it's not so stressful. I don't have to wait for the elevator, not like in Kuala Lumpur. Indeed, it takes a long time for the elevator to come until you manage to go down, since
There are so many.
floors and quite a few. I think there were, the elevators.
Yeah, there were only 3 elevators, and yeah, they don't make the bed. Just so you know, there's a really big flow because of that. Just to complain about the accommodations in Kuala Lumpur, I'm joking, it was really okay there too, but here it's even better. because it's just us at the pool and it's not as crowded as it was in Kuala Lumpur, in the building. Because if you go out on the street, it's total chaos. Yeah, we got a good place to stay here. I knew that accommodations in Vietnam are really good from the last time I was here. Vietnamese people really value tourism and comfort in their accommodations. I've honestly never had a bad place to stay in Vietnam. Here where we are is quite a large complex with several buildings. Each one has its own pool. Besides this pool, we also have another pool with a view. We're going to go there today as well because today is our first day in Vietnam and we thought we'd take it easy just to get into the Vietnamese vibe. We're starting the day here in the pool. After that, I want us to go out a bit, get a feel for the city and do some shopping. Because here we can find our favorite ingredients. Let's have some soup. Yeah, we're coming after a few weeks of being in the pool. We want bad food, that's it. None of us like Asian food. The Chinese flavors killed us in Sihanoukville. And we want good food. We want food that suits our taste, just like we did last night. So today we're getting a feel for the city, cooking, relaxing, doing laundry since we have a washing machine, relaxing by the pool. That's pretty much what today will be like. This place is truly special. There's a lot of greenery here on the building, really nice spots to hang out and relax, and this pool is just wow.
Yeah, it really is.
It's absolutely wow. And big. Let's see what's on the other side. Super cool to have something like this at your disposal. You have some kind of jacuzzi, I think. The chaos on the streets here. Next to us there's a river. The river is pretty dirty. I think they're trying to fix it up because I see trash collected in different places and some excavators picking up the trash and putting stone pavement in its place. Vietnam really is developing at a dizzying pace. I know this from the studies I've done. I really liked Vietnam last time, and since then I've been studying what's happening in Vietnam. And that's why I was extremely curious to come and see Vietnam's development with my own eyes. And yes, we have to admit it's a communist country because Vietnam is still communist. And it's pretty strange and hard to understand. And we acknowledge communist countries because Vietnam is still communist. It's strange, hard to The developing survivor. I want to stay and see these things for myself, to talk more with the people. Already. These are some mushrooms which are very tasty. They taste a bit like porcini. Back home we make an omelette with mushrooms. That's pretty much how our omelette turned out. Very, very tasty. A simple omelette with mushrooms. Jeannie is also making some tomatoes with salt and vinegar now to whet our appetite. We went down for a walk. This is what the pool downstairs looks like. It's huge. This is the Olympic pool. Yeah, a really cool Olympic-sized pool. It's a complex with several buildings. We're staying here in this one. Everything is really nicely done. It's an absolutely beautiful area and very peaceful. Let's go out for a walk on the street for a bit to see what the city looks like here in our area. This is pretty much what the street we live on looks like, more or less. I noticed this yesterday too, and it was pretty interesting that people are wearing masks. I saw a lot of people wearing masks, but here it's normal. It's normal to wear a mask because people have always worn masks, not just because of the pandemic. Here people wore masks even before the pandemic, and I couldn't believe it because before the pandemic I came here for the first time, and in Japan it's the same, people wear masks, it's just the way it is. I said we should walk a little to see the local life here. Tasted the local cuisine. I don't think we'll do it today, but in the next few days we want to try some Vietnamese food as well. From my point of view, Vietnamese food is the best in Asia. What's with people and cherries and strawberries? That's cool, goodbye. We need to find an automated teller machine to withdraw some money. The local currency is called dong. What is sold here? Coffee. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Vietnamese coffee is very special. I was just telling Ginny that I really like the coffee here and I'm curious if she'll like it too. When we find a coffee shop, I really want us to go in and try our first Vietnamese coffee. What did you see? Hibiscus flowers. Wait a second. Pharmacy, of course. Of course, everywhere you find vegetables, fruits on the street. Oh wow, hello. Look at this chicken, Ginny the yellow one. Can you imagine what kind of soup we would make? Yeah, you know, I think I'll give up my pork soup and Mrs. will laugh at me.
It's like you understand her here and I do.
The chicken soup, look how beautiful it is. Oh my God forbid, wow, what's here?
Do you want to make it? We're making snake soup.
Snake soup?
Of the state?
That's eel, God forbid, it's eel.
I don't know. You make soup from it?
I don't know, they're laughing at us.
Ginny does.
That chicken looks really good.
Yes.
The chicken, man, and we're taking it with us. Come on, let's go. Let's do some more shopping.
We'll be back early tomorrow morning, okay?
And we'll take it then too.
We'll build a house and come back.
To build a house, we come back, thank you. When you see a chicken, you know, when it's yellow like that, you can't really resist yellow. First, we're going to a supermarket here. A little further, there's another one to get more ingredients and withdraw some money. Look, another chicken. There are chickens everywhere.
Yeah, but what?
It was scrawny.
Nicely covered with turmeric.
Genius, look, there's duck, there's fish too. God, how beautiful. Yes, but the chicken was better. How cool. I wonder what this is. Maybe a mobile temple? Because that's what it seems like.
Like those funeral cars we have, you know, the ones that carry the dead.
A hearse, a temple.
Temple.
A place where sugarcane juice is made, sugar, a place. But until we make some money, we can't buy anything. Yes, look, there's a bank ahead. We'll withdraw some dong from here, from what I've seen, from 5,000 dong. Is the equivalent of 1 lu approximately. It's less than 1 lu. Something like that. And after that we come here for a Vietnamese coffee and look how nice it is.
Poinsettias, look, poinsettias.
Yeah, these are poinsettias.
And they're real.
How cool is that, right?
Artificial.
Well, people are getting ready for New Year's here. It's the Vietnamese New Year, New Year's. Automated teller machine, look here. Let's withdraw some dong. We got ourselves some coffee and we want to get things done. We want money.
I was on the app for a bit
Did you get scared? Yeah?
about the money from Cambodia, and it showed me that it's 47 lei, and I said yes.
Oh man, we won't even drink coffee here anymore. Oh man.
Now even the desire for coffee is gone, but actually it's 5.77 lei, 35,000 of them.
We're millionaires, literally millionaires. We have so much money, it's annoying.
Yeah, look, there's Uncle Ho.
Uncle Ho, yeah, of course it had to be Uncle Ho. On the banknotes. That's what the money looks like. I withdrew 2 million dong. That should be enough for us to buy a chicken and everything we need. We'll buy it. Coffee costs 30 and how much is 2, right?
37,800.
37,000 dong. There were 2 coffees. That means, wow, 2 lei for a coffee.
37,600 lei.
6 lei, 3 lei for a coffee. I think we're in a good place.
Where we're going to drink a lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee, yeah. I kept studying this Vietnamese money, and on every banknote, no matter the value, it's always Ho Chi Minh on every banknote. So there's just one person on all of them.
He was very important to them.
Clearly, he was very important. Hey, these are Vietnamese coffees now. I remember again, among the best coffees in the world. I drank them in Vietnam. To me, Vietnamese coffee seemed wow. Last time when I was here, you tasted it. Very good. It's really good. Extraordinarily good.
A strong coffee.
Very strong, aromatic. And yes, I want us to have Vietnamese coffee made in the traditional style one day, because it's made a bit differently and it tastes different from regular coffee. We just need to find a day to try coffees, and there will be plenty of days since we're staying in Vietnam, something like that. My skin is peeling off my nose from sitting here with coffee and seeing how much Ho Chi Minh was loved by the Vietnamese people. A people I respect a lot for the fact that they managed to rise so much after such a troubled history. Because the history of Vietnam really was a very, very, very troubled one. They were under the Chinese for a long time, then under the French for a very long time, I think more than 100 years, yes. And after that, probably everyone has heard of the Vietnam War. Well, the Vietnam War is relatively recent. It was a civil war between North Vietnam and South Vietnam. What's very, very interesting about what happened here is the fact that in this war between North Vietnam and South Vietnam, the Americans intervened. And I think it's the only place in the world, from what I was reading, New Guinea, where the Americans were defeated.
In the 20th century, the first war, the only war lost by the Americans in the 20th century.
The only war they lost
In the 20th century?
in the 20th century.
Yes, it was a big blow for the United States back then.
Yes, and so many movies were made about the Vietnam War and Rambo and so many others. Indeed, something very, very interesting happened here, and I was saying the Vietnamese people, whom I respect, were strong, very strong, to fight against the Americans and even win. That says a lot about the people and about their leader, Ho Chi Minh.
Yes, that says a lot about the people. But I have the impression that the people received a very strong impulse from their leader, because they were people who loved their leader, Ho Chi Minh, extremely much. Uncle Bo, as they called him, was idolized, would be saying too much, let's put it that way, but he was greatly loved by the people. And although he started out as an ordinary revolutionary who eventually became, yes, a minister and later president. I like that at one point he said he went to France. I go to France to see how others do things. and then I returned to my country to implement the same system.
Man, is this something amazing you're telling me?
Yes, because of course, what did he find back then when he left the country? The light of Marxism-Leninism, because back then that's what it was, Marxism-Leninism. It was a form of communism different from the one we know. And yes, he comes and motivates the people with some powerful motivational speeches, gives them a push, makes them want freedom even more. Because back then, the Vietnamese were fighting both French colonialism and American imperialism. Colonialism, they were powerful forces that they had to fight against. Or you can, and Minh, he was the only one, the only person who could motivate a people to fight against such forces, to fight. I admire him for his quality as a leader.
I think the entire Vietnamese people admire him.
At one point, I remember that Aristotle was talking about the qualities a leader must have in order to be able to motivate He must be someone who knows how to, just like me, always. He would come down to the level of the people because we have many sources and attestations that tell us he was a simple man, a very simple man. He dressed and behaved very simply. He knew how to come down to the level of the people.
A very, very interesting character. Now, I don't know exactly. I know he has a mausoleum somewhere, but I don't remember exactly. I can't recall if it's here or in Hanoi. I really don't know that anymore. We need to study a bit more. Anyway, there are a lot of places to visit here that are directly connected to the Vietnam War. I remember that last time we went to some tunnels, the Cuchi tunnels, if I'm not mistaken, were in these tunnels. The Vietnamese army managed to withstand all the American bombings. They were brilliant because they created a very deep underground tunnel network and they couldn't be driven out or defeated because of their ingenuity. By hiding there in those tunnels, I don't know if we'll manage to reach those tunnels this time either. There are many, many things to see here in Saigon, in Ho Chi Minh City, because yes, the city of Saigon, as it was called before, took the name of Ho Chi Minh. Precisely because of this, because the people loved him very much. And as we sit here having coffee, you won't believe it, or maybe you will believe it. Who did we just randomly run into like this out of nowhere?
Like that, I had no idea. First, I want to clarify I never agreed to appear on this vlog, receive no contract about my rights or image, and do not consent. I kindly asked Marcel to talk to his editor and blur my face.
From here I understood.
So, 10 minutes ago I found out that Marcel is here.
How cool is that then?
He's been here 10 minutes. I saw it on Instagram. We saw each other 2 weeks ago and you said you come by but didn't know when. I didn't know any dates.
In Bangladesh, were you in Kolkata? Yes.
Yes, exactly. And instantly I told Marcel, what are you doing? Where are you? Yes, bye. Like here, I left home.
To Ong Kyu Ho?
Yes, to Ang Kyu Ho. So,
incredible how we crossed paths without thinking about it, without planning it.
not exactly planning it. Interesting that we haven't met since 2021.
I think we last saw each other in Vama Veshe.
No, at Burhui's wedding. At Burhui's wedding with the Warriors girls, with Christy and Ralu. And that was in June or July 2021, I think. Where would we see each other after that?
I know we saw each other once more at Vama Vech, but I didn't remember.
Yeah, maybe not. I think it's 2. It seems like it's not. Still 2021. Look, I also met with Blonde Rient in Vama. That's how it was, but it was before. It was before Burhui's wedding. Yeah, before the wedding was in July when I met with Christy. And I also met you and Blonde Rient around then, about 2 or 3 weeks before shooting started.
At that time, my back hurt a lot and I was in bad shape.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Your back was hurting. Yeah.
Yeah, man, time flies. It's incredible how fast it goes by.
I think it's cool about you, so you haven't changed?
Yeah, well, I told you, I think you've grown a bit.
So, that's what I was thinking. When you see someone after 5 years, usually after 5 years, man, people can change dramatically. People can even change in a year, you know? It's true. Yeah, look, traveling, well, it keeps both of us young. That's the secret, man. That's the secret. How nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. An unexpected meeting here with old man Beck. Long live, happy birthday.
Long live our meeting. Let's get together more often, not just for events like this.
Yeah, let's hang out more. I kept saying how cool it would be to do something. I waited for you to throw that party for years, but I see you gave up.
That's not true. I didn't give up. Hold on. I didn't give up. I'll tell you what I did with that party. The party, I had it on a private yacht in Rio de Janeiro, on Copacabana.
Come on, man, so the party actually happened.
Yeah, I changed it because I missed the summer. I couldn't do it in the summer and I wanted to do everything in the summer. So I did it in December. Did you do everything? Yeah, I did it in December in Rio de Janeiro, but because all of us are away somewhere else, I was with a group of old friends in Rio, Peru, Argentina, and I did it. In the end, I called my DJs from South Africa, from Cape Town, and I organized an event. I rented the biggest yacht in Rio de Janeiro. I rented it. Yes, it was in December. I wanted to do it in summer, but I came and left and didn't want to do it in winter. But the new information here is that I'm doing the Romanian version this coming summer.
No,
So I'm definitely doing it this coming summer.
I think we all have a chance to meet up.
That's the plan. Do you want to know the mistake? Back then, I decided last minute, and you can't gather 10 travel vloggers on short notice. You need to plan ahead. Look, if I want them to come, if you're dealing with Hai Hui, I have to tell them 4 to 5 months in advance. If you're dealing with Christy, you know?
Yeah, well,
Definitely, and now I want to do something like that around June, July. In Bucharest, I'm going to do it. You understand? Right now, I'm trying to put together all the details so I can do something there. This is my first time saying this.
something is coming out as a premiere.
Yes, exactly, as a premiere.
But it would be cool. It would actually be really cool for all of us to meet.
That's what I want. That's the plan.
Yeah, Backpack, the one that unites everyone. Very cool, very cool. An unplanned meeting with Old Man Backpack. Always a pleasure to meet up around the world. Let's move on. We're heading to a supermarket I found here on the map to do some shopping. After that, on the way home, we'll get a chicken and go cook. That's pretty much the plan for today. Cooking and pool time. A quiet day today. Quiet day. This is pretty much how Vietnam looks from the bridge, one of the bridges here in Ho Chi Minh. Contrasts, there are still contrasts here. Very new buildings, steel and glass, in contrast with old buildings. Clean and arranged rivers compared to very dirty rivers, like the one near our accommodation. Millions of scooters. Ah, look, Ginny, how interesting. A Christian church. Yeah, it really is interesting. There's probably a Christian community here, and the Christian community in Vietnam is actually quite large. We're almost the only ones walking. Everyone else is on scooters pretty much here. Yeah, it's nice to feel the pulse of the city like this, walking around. And yeah, I think it's the biggest one. I don't know how to call it. I think most of the scooters in the world are here. In Vietnam, they have special lanes just for them. The traffic has adapted. It's really an adventure to drive here the scooter among millions of others. Now, it's true, as I told you when we arrived, that Vietnam is one of the most populated countries in the world, with 100 million people living in Vietnam. Another street with a market. First, we need to go to a supermarket to get the rest. what we need, including a pot, because at the accommodation we don't have a pot to make soup. After that, we'll go to the market to look for chicken, vegetables, and see what else comes to mind to cook. Here, somewhere ahead, there's a bigger supermarket. That's where we want to go. Another one, we took a pot and a small basin, we're needing to make pies because we're craving pies. We have a pot now, let's find the chicken too. On the way home, I hope we find one. Since we didn't find a big supermarket like we thought, we're shopping here on the street. We went back to our accommodation. A real shopping adventure because we can't find yeast anywhere and we're really craving cheese pies from Pankuvi. In the end, we found something, I don't remember what it was called. Baking soda, let's hope it works out like this. Our chicken turned into a pig, more exactly. Our chicken buzzed, flew, and we changed the menu. We're going to make pork soup, sour pork soup. We have all the ingredients. It's very cheap to shop in Vietnam. That pot you saw we bought cost 25 lei, and the ingredients, all the ingredients, a lot of meat, a lot of other vegetables. Somewhere around 70 lei, I think, but we got a lot again. We have food for 3 days, plus flour, plus cheese. We're making cheese pie. Let's hope it turns out for the rest of the day. We're cooking. Thank you. Romanians are quite inventive, especially when they have problems and are hungry. Because this pot, of course, doesn't work on my induction ceramic cooktop. I wouldn't have thought of that when I bought it, but I invented something. We put the pot in the pan and that way it works. We're going to start making sour pork soup. The soup is on the stove, simmering on low heat. Ginny's dough is ready. Let's hope it will rise. Guess what I did? I ordered yeast through Grab. Here in Vietnam, you can order pretty much anything. It arrived in about 20 minutes, a packet of yeast. So we're good. We're making cheese pies and pankove and baked pankove. Our soup is almost ready. We'll eat soon. It smells really good in here, like sour pork soup a la vorza. Your dough isn't rising, huh? Actually, it's rising pretty well, but because of the yeast, right? Yeah, the yeast. Yeah, we're making donuts and cheese pies too. Very anemic, pretty anemic, but because of the yeast. That's how it is anyway. I'm sure they're good. The cheese pies are really good, but they're not like the ones at home, that's true, but they're still amazingly good. In the end, they did rise really nice. Ginny isn't too satisfied because she usually makes them perfectly, but with the ingredients here, perfect, right? Actually, you really do make them perfect. With the ingredients from here, it's super, super good. Thank you, Ginny.